Godot 4.5 marks a significant milestone in the evolution of the Godot engine, introducing a plethora of features, enhancements, and fixes that cater to both 2D and 3D game developers. This release will emphasize accessibility, performance, and user experience, solidifying Godot's position as a leading open-source game development platform. 1. Accessibility enhancements. Screen reader integration. One of the standout features in Godot 4.5 is the integration of screen reader support within the editor. This initiative aims to make the engine more accessible to developers with visual impairments. By providing auditory feedback for UI elements, the editor becomes navigable using assistive technologies. This development aligns with community-driven efforts, such as the Godot Accessibility plugin, which has been instrumental in bringing accessibility features to the forefront. High contrast themes and colorblind filters. To further enhance visual accessibility, Godot 4.5 will introduce high contrast themes, improving visibility for users with low vision. Additionally, the engine now supports colorblind filters, allowing developers to simulate various types of color blindness and adjust their game's color schemas accordingly. This feature ensures that games developed with Godot are more inclusive and accessible to a broader audience. 2. Navigation improvements. Dedicated 2D navigation server. Previously, Godot Navigation Server handled both 2D and 3D navigation, which could lead to unnecessary overhead for 2D projects. In Godot 4.5, the navigation server will split, allowing developers to enable or disable 2D and 3D navigation models independently. This change reduces unnecessary overhead for 2D games and streamlines the development process. 3. Shader Editor Overhaul. The shader editor has undergone a significant UI overhaul in Godot 4.5, led to contributor Yurki Rubinsky. The updates include improved layout, better organization of shader functions, and enhanced usability for both code and visual shader editors. These changes aim to provide a more intuitive experience for developers working with shaders. The usual shader editor has also been completely overhauled to improve the handling of large, complex shader graphs. Developers can now use different colors for nodes based on their category, and 2 new node types, reroute and frame, have been added to improve port drawing and bundle related nodes visually. 4. Language switching without restarting. Godot 4.5 will introduce the ability to change the editor language on the fly without requiring a restart. This feature enhances accessibility and convenience for multilingual developers, allowing them to switch languages seamlessly during their workflow. 5. VR performance enhancements. Fragment Destiny map support. To improve performance on standalone VR headsets like the MetaQuest, Godot 4.5 adds support for the Vulkan Fragment Density Map support. To improve performance on standalone VR headsets like the MetaQuest, Godot 4.5 adds support for the Vulkan Fragment Density Map extension. This feature allows the engine to render peripheral areas of the viewport at lower resolution, optimizing performance without significantly impacting visual quality. Linux and Wayland support. For Linux users, Godot 4.5 brings native Windows support for the Wayland Display Server protocol. This enhancement enables better integration and functionality when running the Godot editor on Wayland, addressing a long-standing limitation in improving the overall user experience on Linux systems. Quality of life improvements. Mute game toggle. Previously, muting the audio while testing in the editor required using the operating system's sound controls or pausing the work. Godot 4.5 introduces a new mute game toggle on the game view, allowing developers to halt or restore audio output with a single click, streamlining the testing process. UID support for preloaded resources. With UID, unique identifier support being a part of the engine as of 4.4, Godot 4.5 will enable further optimization by integrating UID support with core components. Specifically, preloaded resources now can be loaded as UID if dragged, enhancing resource management and organization within the project. Multiple remote node selection at runtime. A long-awaited quality of life addition to the editor experience has finally arrived. Developers now have the ability to select multiple nodes in a runtime context, simplifying the process of managing and debugging complex scenes during development. Additional enhancements, 2D improvements, enhanced usability of visible on-screen notifier 2D, making it easier to manage visibility-based events in 2D games. 3D enhancements, customizable debug colors for Path 3D, aiding in visualization and debugging of 3D paths within the editor. Animation updates, added delta argument to process modification and exposed advanced in Skeleton 3D, providing developers with more control over animation processing and skeleton manipulation. Core optimizations, optimized object cast 2 for better performance, contributing to overall engine efficiency. Editor improvements, added UID to file tooltips and improved quick open dialog behavior, enhancing the user experience within the editor. Export enhancements, updated Underweight pre-built export logic, streamlining the process of exporting projects to Underweight platforms. GDScript enhancements, enhanced error handling for invalid supercores, improving the robustness and clarity of GDScript error messages. Getting started with Godot 4.5. Godot 4.5 is currently in development. With the first dev snapshot released on March 20th, 2025, the engine is available for downloading on multiple platforms, including Windows, macOS, Linux, and Android. Developers can also try the web editor or compile the engine from source. Community and contributions. Godot's strength lies in its vibrant and active community, with over 500 contributors participating in the development of version 4.3 alone. The engine continues to evolve rapidly, addressing user feedback and implementing new features. The collaborative nature of Godot's development ensures that it remains responsive to the needs of its diverse user base. Conclusion: Godot 4.5 represents a significant step forward in making the engine more accessible, efficient, and user-friendly. With dedicated 2D navigation, enhanced shader editing, improved VR support, and a host of quality-of-life improvements, developers have more tools at their disposal to create compelling games. As the engine continues to evolve, the Godot community remains at the forefront of open-source game development. Watch this video to discover the best free tools and softwares that every game developer must have.